Hey everyone, today we're going to talk about the warrior diet, or what everybody likes to call intermittent fasting. First of all, let me give you guys a brief background about me. I've always had a pretty fast metabolism. I've been you could say twitchy, um, very nervous, skinny little kid when I was younger. And so I got into weight training first of all through wrestling, and then also when I was in the military I got into powerlifting, and then from powerlifting I got into bodybuilding. These two competition videos you guys are going to be watching are from I think 2002 and 2003. My last two big bodybuilding contests that I've done, and this one right here, let's just say I wasn't very natural, and then from then on I just started entering natural competitions. My first contest I did, it was a natural show, and I won that. And then as I got into competition more and more, the judges kept saying I needed to put on more size. And so just like everybody else, I got caught into the trap of like trying to use pro hormones to get bigger. And this is the last time I did pro hormones, is in this contest right here. I think it was a California border states or something like that. And I don't even know, I think I placed 5th or 6th on this contest. I was holding too much water. And this was before my pec tear. And so let's get back to warrior diet. So this is the last competition I've also did. That was during the traditional, regular, like 6 or 8 meals a day, meal prepping and all that stuff. This last contest right here was the 2003 Musclemania Worlds, and this is the first time I've started doing the warrior diet up until like a week before the show, and then I started doing a normal eating plan just to get my carb loading and stuff done. So brief background about the warrior diet or intermittent fasting. I think the warrior diet started off first before everybody even knew what intermittent fasting was. It was the warrior diet, and I first read about it in 1999 from this magazine that is no longer in publication called Mind and Muscle Power. The editor-in-chief was a man by the name of Ori Hofmeckler. He was a ex-Special Forces, Israeli Defense Force, ex-Israeli Defense Force, Special Forces, and he talked about the warrior diet. The first time the warrior diet book got published was in, I think, 2001. And the first studies they started doing for intermittent fasting was in 2013 or 2014. And there's all kinds of different variations to do intermittent fasting and also the warrior diet. The way I learned it was from the warrior diet was to fast for at least 16 hours. And then you can eat as much as you want in a 4-hour time span. There's different versions, like I said, of warrior dieting or intermittent fasting. So after my last contest there, I started to get fatter. I started to get bulky. I started bulking up. I also, that last contest, I don't know if you guys noticed between the one contest and the other one, is that I tore my pec about, I think a few months or a year before that last competition, the 2003 Musclemania Worlds. And then these pictures right here are in 2006 when I started going back onto the warrior diet, because warrior diet or intermittent fasting, I feel, is like the fastest way. I feel it is, and based on with a lot of clients that I've worked with and a lot of friends that have tried these types of diets, that progress comes pretty quick with the warrior diet or intermittent fasting, more so than any of the other diet plans that I know of. And to me, I don't really like using the word diet, because the first three letters in diet is die. So I say eating plan or meal plans or eating programs. So the warrior diet or the warrior plan, warrior eating, like I said, is based off of fasting for at least 16 hours. I would do like 20-hour fasts and then eat as much as I want within 4 hours, within a 4-hour time span. And that in that time span, I would pretty much eat whatever I wanted. I mean, whatever I wanted. You could think of the intermittent fasting or the warrior diet as, well, I'd like to call it the most undisciplined of eating programs, as far as, here's why. With warrior dieting or intermittent fasting, depending on the person, me, myself, like I said, since I was young, I've had a pretty quick metabolism. I could lose weight or burn fat in a quick amount of time. And I'm in my 40s now, and I still find losing weight pretty easy, especially with doing warrior diet. And with fasting, at least for me, I don't do any kind of meal preps. None. The hardest part with any intermittent fasting or warrior dieting is not meal preparation, at least for me, and staying disciplined and sticking with eating every 2 to 3 hours. That takes a lot of discipline. Eating every 2 to 3 hours, preparing all your meals for the day, for the week. That, I think, takes a lot of discipline. The thing with the warrior diet and intermittent fasting is not having the discipline per se. It's more of a willpower. If you can have the willpower to not eat anything for 16 hours, at least 16 hours straight, and that means from the last time you put food in your mouth to the time that you went to bed, and then from the moment you wake up, it all counts. So from the last time you put something in your mouth and you went to bed, those hours are already counted. They're already getting counted down from that time you went to bed. So it's not as bad as what most people would think. And one of my friends and some of my clients would ask me always, do you do any kind of meal preps when you do warrior diet? And I tell them flat out no. Basically because my goals are different. My goal is not really to lose weight per se, because my goal is to still try to put on muscle mass at the same time that I want to stay lean or even get more leaner. So the trick with any warrior dieting or intermittent fasting is that when you have you fast and then you feast. So the 4-hour feast, I'll eat whatever I want. And also, one thing I do differently, I don't know if it's in the book now, on the warrior diet book, but the weekends I would have cheat meals. Like I won't stick to the fasting phase of let's say like a 16-hour fast. The longest I'll go without eating is probably like from the time I wake up, is I might skip like breakfast and lunch, but by like say afternoon, early afternoon or mid afternoon, if I want to eat, I'll eat, and I'll eat whatever I want. And I think it's very important to do that, because it's kind of like a rebound effect that your body gets when you're on your warrior diet. That phase when you fast and you don't eat, and you're fasting for at least 16 hours, you're going through a whole cleanse, and you're priming all of your body's natural, your hormones and everything, your metabolism to get ready for the feast. And so when I do eat, like I said, I'm not too strict on trying to eat what I want. I just eat whatever I want, basically, unless, I have a competition coming up, and then I might get more stricter. And this last competition I did here was these videos right here is getting ready for my first classic physique competition. When I first started competing, they did not have a men's physique, or now what they have is classic bodybuilding classic physique. They didn't have those when I first started competing. All they had was just straight up men's bodybuilding, and that was it for the men's. I think there was women's figure, and bodybuilding. They did not have bikini back then either. So the only time I would stay strict and probably start checking my macros and everything else is right before competition. Because otherwise, guys, girls, if you want to put on muscle while you're doing a intermittent fasting or warrior diet, just eat. Eat whatever you want. Eat whatever you want to eat on your feast days, or your times that you get to feast in your 4-hour window of eating. Eat as much as you want, whatever you want. I take the weekends, like I said, to have my cheat days, and again, I'll eat whatever I want, whenever I want. I won't stick to the weekends are my times where I won't stick to the eating plan, any kind of plan at all. I pretty much relax and eat whatever I want. If I want to drink, I'll drink. I don't really drink a lot of alcohol. I don't really drink a lot of beer or whatever. But if I wanted to, if I want to have some wine, some beer, I could do that on the weekends. Granted that I'm not, getting ready for competition, like I said. The only time I get super strict with intermittent fasting is right before a competition. And also the beautiful thing about doing the warrior diet and intermittent fasting is that my last competition, I never really had to do any type of strict cardio days. I really didn't have a cardio days. For my cardio, I do a lot of circuits. I don't do the traditional cardio on the treadmill, on a bicycle, on the Stairmaster. I don't do any of that. And for me, because I don't take any pro hormones or anything like that anymore. I train natural. Most guys that train natural, it's hard to get the legs and keep the leg size when you are, dieting for competition, because of all the cardio that you're doing. Most cardios that you do all involves the lower body. And then on top of that, you're training your lower body either once a week or twice a week. Some people even 3 times a week. And there's no way you can make improvements, let alone keep that muscle size in a caloric restricted eating plan. And then on top of that, you're doing all that cardio, so you're overtraining the legs. And the beautiful thing about me when I do my warrior diet and intermittent fasting is that I've made very good leg improvements, and I've been able to keep my leg size, at least most of it, when I diet down for a contest. So that's the one thing I like about it. And like I said, with the warrior diet, it's pretty much the non-discipline of disciplines as far as eating plans go, because all you really need is willpower. That is it. Just good old-fashioned willpower. Where there's a will, there's a way. If you can keep yourself from eating for at least 16 hours, you get rewarded. You get to reward yourself and eat whatever you want within that 4-hour time span. And that's the way I look at it. So to me, it's like this. just think of like someone who's going to die soon. They only have like, say, a month to live. Every day is more precious because they know that they have only a month to live and they want to spend their days, doing whatever they want or spending time with loved ones and things like that. When you're on a warrior diet or intermittent fasting, believe me, eating is more pleasurable and you get to enjoy food a lot more because of the fact that you don't have to like program yourself or time all of your meals and all that meal prep and everything else. Just eat. That's it. Just eat. So food becomes more enjoyable because you know that you can only eat in that one time span, a 4-hour time span, not like throughout the whole day. Food becomes more enjoyable. Eating becomes more enjoyable. I swear it's like food tastes so much better when you fasted for at least 16 hours. Like I said, for me, I go like 20, 21 hours without eating a meal from the time I go to sleep with the last putting those last bit of food in my mouth. So, try it out. The warrior diet, intermittent fasting, who knows, you might stick with it. Like I said, I was going on and off of it from 2003 until 2006, but from 2009 until now, the present, 2017, I just stuck with it. I stayed with it. It's not even like a diet or eating plan no more. It's like a lifestyle now for me to stay on this warrior diet. I hate to say that word diet, but really it is. And you can, contrary to some people saying, oh, you can't put on muscle with with intermittent fasting or warrior diet. You can put on muscle. I've been putting on muscle consistently since I've been doing the warrior diet, from like a soft 185 to now I'm a pretty lean 185 at 9% body fat. And I'm getting ready to do another contest pretty soon, probably in August. So we'll see how I do from there and how I look. But yeah, it might not be the easiest as far as like, because not too many people will have that willpower to not eat for 16 hours. The easiest way to do it though is to just skip breakfast and then the next day skip lunch and then the next day skip dinner. Don't think of like your eatings as breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Just think of them as don't think of them as meals no more. Think of them as like rewards. So you get rewarded for the time that you don't eat. You get to reward yourself more. The longer you go without food, the more you can reward yourself. So this video right here is the latest video I have of me with taking progress pictures. I'm sorry, I lost the original footage, so I had to get it off of my Instagram. And this one is off of Snapchat. And this is another thing. A lot of people say when you're on a diet or on intermittent fasting, you don't feel as strong. Trust me. I feel just as strong now doing warrior dieting and intermittent fasting than I did, and I have more energy actually because I'm using my stored body fat. And fat, as everyone knows, if you don't know, has twice the energy as protein and carbs. And if you're burning fat efficiently, you'll have more energy. So I'm still able to train heavy with the warrior diet. So that is it. I'm going to put some guidelines below on the video. And this is something I feel like we could talk about. I could talk about more. So I probably will. So that is it for intermittent fasting, warrior diet. Hope you guys learned something from it. And we'll see you again real soon. Take care and have a great day.